Kultusministerin Heiligenstadt, my dear friend, Chairman Michael Fürst, Mr. Hartmut Thaler, Landesrabbiner Jonas Sievers, Chairman Ariel Yahalomi, my dear friend Wilfried Wiedemann, my colleagues from the International Council of Memorials in Niedersachsen, friends from the Bergen-Belsen Memorial and the town of Celle, distinguished guests. בתרמיל הזיכרונות על כתפיי ובמקל תקווה בידיי, יודע אני מהיכן אני בא. ומתוך תקווה וחרדה אני מבקש לדעת לאן אני הולך. קצטניק. With a backpack full of memories on my shoulders and a cane of hope in my hands, I know from where I have come. And filled with hope and anxiety, I wish to know to where am I going. קצטניק. These are the words of Yechiel Dinur, known as Katzetnik, a Jewish writer and a famous witness at the Eichmann trial in Jerusalem. Katzetnik referred to Auschwitz as a different planet because he could not bear thinking of it as part of the human world of our universe. This quotation is the essence of what I intend to say to you today. We are standing here at the Jewish monument which was erected by the Jewish Central Committee at the DP camp, of which my father, Jochi was a prominent member. I am also looking at a stone that my father brought from Jerusalem and put it here with his own hands years later in 1975. And I feel the heavy burden of memories on my shoulders. They are so heavy not only because the memories are a frightening nightmare and they remind me where I come from, being born in the DP camp of Bergen-Belsen. They are so heavy not only because these memories have a tremendous impact on my entire life, defined my personality, shaped the person I grew up to be, and influenced my attitude to life and the way I brought up my children. The burden of memories is so heavy, mainly since it requires a commitment for the future. To where am I going? My heart is full of anxiety and hope as I wish I would know to where I am going. But do I have an answer? Then I recall my father's legacy. זכור את אשר עשה לך עמלק הנאצי. Remember what Nazi Amalek did to you. Remember in order to make sure that another Shoah, another Holocaust, should never happen again on this earth. No more a massacre of people because of their beliefs, their religion, their color or looks. My father dedicated his whole life to this purpose, to commemorate and to take care of the survivors. And I am trying to follow, to go in his footsteps. But sometimes a doubt invades my mind. Do we still need to remember? Maybe the world is a better place now. Maybe it is a safer world. Can we be confident that this will never happen again? This is what we all have to ask ourselves as individuals and as representatives of the second and third generations. Just a few days ago, we heard about a murderous shooting in Kansas City in the United States. A racist neo-Nazi motivated by hatred aimed at Jews in a Jewish area and by mistake killed 3 innocent Christians. This is only one incident which demonstrates that even if hatred is pointed at a specific target, eventually we are all affected and hurt. Regretfully, there are too many similar incidents, often and everywhere. We in ארגון שארית הפליטה in Israel are trying to remember and teach the history to the young generations. Lately, we have been acquainted with an unknown chapter in history connected to Bergen-Belsen, the story of the African Benghazi Jews who were torn from their community in Libya, taken from the Sahara Desert to Italy, and sent by train to Bergen-Belsen. This was the main subject of this year's celebration in Israel of the 15th of April, Belsen Liberation Day. Our organization is trying to reach everybody who was liberated in Bergen-Belsen or lived in the DP camp, as well as the second and third generations who are related to Bergen-Belsen. Israeli Chief of General Staff Benny Gantz, whose mother was liberated in Bergen-Belsen, is also one of our members. The Irgun in Israel is very active and the number of members increases every month, although regretfully we lose member survivors. On our board we have 7 volunteers, 3 survivors and 4 second generation who were born in the DP camp in Bergen-Belsen. Every year we have a few annual get-togethers. On the 15th of April we celebrate together the Belsen Liberation Day, and survivors tell their personal stories of this special day. Toast and Rosh Hashanah gathering to share updates and wishes for the new year. Hanukkah party, a big happening to celebrate the holiday together. General Assembly to update the members on various subjects. Visit to interesting institutions, Israel Aerospace Industries, Palmach Museum, Yad Vashem, Menachem Begin Center, guided tours to historic places in Israel, etc. Publishing of an international magazine, Unser Stimme, Our Voice, in Hebrew and English twice a year, thus reviving the old Unser Stimme, which was published in Bergen-Belsen in the DP camp. As part of the commitment of the second generation, we share the problems and decisions related to the commemoration of Bergen-Belsen. We are concerned with what will be the future of the former DP camp once the British Army leaves. In the spirit of declaration I personally signed here 18 months ago, from this place I addressed the government of Niedersachsen, represented here by Kulturministerin Freuke Heiligenstadt and German federal officials, and call upon you to ensure the preservation of historical sites of the DP camp as an integral part of the Memorial Center in Bergen-Belsen. The historical places should be submitted to the responsibility of the Niedersachsen Memorial Foundation. On this occasion, I would like to thank our colleagues here for your wonderful work. You are doing a sacred work and we appreciate your devotion and rely on you. Remember that we are always there for you, encouraging and ready to help in any aspect. The survivors are still leading and taking an active part in all our activities. As the survivors are getting older and fewer, we consider it a sacred task to pass their legacy on. As long as they are with us, we look for every opportunity to enable them to tell their personal stories as witnesses of first hand. But what will happen once the survivors are no longer with us? What should be the function and commitment of the second generation and the next generations to come? It will probably be harder to face the denouncers of the Holocaust when the witnesses and victims are gone. But we will have to stand up to them and make sure that what happened shall never happen again. How symbolic can history be? This year, April 15th, Belsen Liberation Day, was exactly on Passover, the celebration of the ancient historical liberation from slavery to freedom in Egypt. We were slaves and now we are free people, we read. On April 15, 1945, the prisoners of Belsen were liberated. They were free people. Speaking to you here today is especially significant and moving for me. In Israel, today is the eve of the Memorial Day for the Holocaust. Ceremonies are being held all over Israel. On hearing the siren, all traffic stops. People stop everything they are doing and stand still, honoring the murdered victims. And I am standing here today at the place where it all happened, declaring my commitment of the second generation. Thank you.